Hey gang, I got an offer for you today from LinkedIn. As business to business marketers, your needs are unique. B2B buying cycles are long and your customers face incredibly complex decisions. Isn't it time you had a marketing platform built specifically for you? LinkedIn ads empower marketers with solutions for you and your customers. LinkedIn ads allow you to build the right relationships, drive results, and reach your customers in a respectful environment. On LinkedIn, you have direct access to build relationships with decision makers. Of the 875 million users on the network, 180 million are senior level executives. 10 million are C-level executives. You will also be able to drive results with targeting and measuring with their tools built specifically for B2B. And best of all, they work. Audiences exposed to brand messages on LinkedIn are 6 times more likely to convert. LinkedIn ads also rank #1 for security, community, and ad experience as part of the Business Insider's Digital Trust Study. Make B2B marketing everything it can be and get a $100 credit. It's a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/MPN to claim your credit. It's linkedin.com/MPN. Terms and conditions apply. I've known Kylie for 3 years now. She's been my diabetic nutrition coach. She's been a great friend, and her energy alone is infectious. She knows what she knows from experience. Her daughter, when she was 2, was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. And by learning about her daughter's needs, she realized she could go back and get a degree and become a diabetic nutrition coach. So this is Kylie's story about her entrepreneurial journey and how she came from adversity and made it into something so much more. So, on with the show. Entrepreneurs Enigma is a podcast for the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. So the wins and the fails that we all face being entrepreneurs, and how we learn from adversity. Every week I talk to a different entrepreneur with a story to tell. I'm Seth Goldstein. Come with me on the journey. This is Entrepreneurs Enigma. Let's get started. Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Entrepreneurs Enigma podcast. I'm here with Kylee Pedrosa of Kylee Pedrosa Nutrition Counseling. She is a very good friend of mine. She is an entrepreneur through and through. Her whole story is amazing. And I thought, let's get her on the show and let's talk about the journey of an entrepreneur. And because she's been doing this for a very long time. She doesn't look it, but she's been doing it for a very long time. So, hey, Kylie, how's it
Good.
going?
Thanks, Seth, for having me on.
Yeah. So you are a diabetic nutrition coach, right?
I I work with people with diabetes. I don't have diabetes myself, but yes, I work diabetes,
Yes.
nutrition, coach, all the above. Yes.
Superstar, exactly. And so how did you find your way into this? I mean, because you're doing this on your you're doing this as an entrepreneur. How tell me your backstory. Like how did this whole thing develop?
Well, it started almost, 12 years ago. Um, yeah, the whole journey started about 12 years ago. And when my daughter, she's 15 now, she was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes, and which is an autoimmune condition that you can really get at any age, but mostly affects children. And when she was 2, she was diagnosed again with type 1, and she had to be given insulin for all of her meals, for anything she ate, 24 hours a day. And at 2 years old, obviously, there was nothing that she could do to manage it. So it fell on me and her dad to figure everything out. And at the time, and just kind of backstory, I did not know anything about diabetes. I knew nothing. I mean, didn't have a background in nutrition or any medical knowledge whatsoever. So it just became like this whole trial and error, trying to figure things out. And as we were going through this new diagnosis and this new learning everything, I realized like, oh, I really actually, even though it was awful, really love nutrition, and I love the science behind blood sugar management, and especially the technology. And I was just talking to a patient today. I'll go more into that later, but how much technology for managing diabetes has advanced since she was diagnosed. So essentially, I realized like, first of all, I love everything around the nutrition and managing diabetes learning process. But then I also realized that, it was really hard for us and to just go into this blindly and really not knowing what we were doing. And it was very overwhelming. And yeah,
Imagine, yeah.
so I actually had met with a certified diabetes educator at some point along her, first year of her diagnosis when we were trying to get her on an insulin pump. And the diabetes educator was the first person who explained things in simple terms, explained, this is how you're going to do it. This is how real life management of diabetes works. And really the first person that made me feel like I got this. I can do this. It's hard, but I can do it. And I, came away from that meeting like I want to be her. I want to do what she does, and so began me going back to school to become a diabetes educator. And so I kind of chose, there's different paths you can choose as far as like to get to become a diabetes educator. You can be a pharmacist, a dietitian, a nurse. Those three were the main ones. Had no background in science, no biology, chemistry, nothing. So um, I was like, okay, what's going to be the easiest thing to do? And I was like, okay, I'll become a dietitian. I'll go back to school for a few years and then I'll, go learn how to become a diabetes educator. Well, yeah, it took me 6 years to become a dietitian.
Wow.
Yeah. So I,
But you had kids. I
yeah,
mean, things are always harder when you have
it
kids.
was, it was the hardest 6 years of my life. It was definitely worth it, but it was tough. It was really tough. I did my undergrad kind of slowly. So I had my undergrad in business administration from my first round. And so, like I said, had nothing to do with science, chemistry, biology, nothing. So I went back to school and was going back with like chemistry 101 with 17-year-olds. I'm like, yeah, like I could be your mom. It was kind of funny, but so um,
That's
and
awesome.
that took the longest because I was really taking like 2 or 3 classes per semester and just taking care of the kids. They were teeny tiny, like 4 and 1. They were tiny. So it was full-time mom, full-time student. It was a lot. And then when you finish the undergrad part, they don't tell you that you then have to go do an intensive internship program
Oy.
to actually become a dietitian. And I kind of found that out like, oh, about 3/4 of the way into the undergrad. Oh, now I have to go do an internship. And the internship was 40-hour weeks for a whole year. And and on top of that, we were also the first class, the first ever in our university to do an experiment to see if you could do the internship and a master's degree in 16 months. And so yeah, that's why I say that was probably 2015, 2016 was the hardest year of my life. We moved. I don't know why we decided that was a
Oh,
good idea
geez,
to
yeah.
move in the middle of that. Um, and I did the internship, got passed the exam to become a dietitian.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is a long story, but I'm getting to the point is that finally
Yeah.
I was able to go into practice and as a dietitian, initially, it's a whole nother step to get your diabetes educator credential. But when I first started working, I was working as kind of a health coach for a corporate wellness company,
Mhm.
and we had to see upwards of 10 to 14 people per day and coach them on dietary changes or health and wellness things like that. And it was so much focused on how much weight are they losing, what's their blood pressure, what's their BMI, and all these like number outcomes. And from the
Mhm.
beginning, I always felt like there was so much focus on numbers. When you go to the doctor, they say, what was your A1C? And oh, well, that's not good. Or, it's always this judgment around numbers. And quickly found that was like, okay, I'm back right where I kind of not wanted to be in a
Mhm.
space where corporate world where numbers are, you know, what's what counts. It's outcomes, and they want to see those
Yeah.
outcomes. And so, um, I said, well, I'm going to do this on my own. I want to be responsible for my own outcomes. I want to determine
Yeah.
what my outcomes look like for my patients, and not some random person that has no idea what the health space looks like. There's more to health, and that's really where my whole viewpoint and when I'm working with clients is more to health than just numbers. There's
Yeah.
so much, it makes up so much more. And so, yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
um, decided to open Kylie Pedrosa Nutrition and Wellness right after I left the corporate wellness world in 2018. And during pandemics and homeschooling and, and all the fun stuff for the last few years, just been hanging in there by, pure determination and trying to help as many
Mhm.
people as possible because it's been rough. It's been a rough couple of years for a lot of folks.
Yeah. We're going to take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the show.
Hey there, it's Jason Falls. If your company or maybe one of your clients sells to marketers, you look for advertising channels that guarantee business marketers are paying attention, right? Let me introduce you to the Marketing Podcast Network. You're listening to it right now. It's a network of podcasts all about marketing. So 100% of MPN's audience are marketers. Reach them by advertising on the Marketing Podcast Network. Learn more and find our media kit at marketingpodcasts.net.
Knowing you so well, like you're one of the most determined people I know. Like you just keep going. There's a roadblock. You're like, okay, how do I get around this roadblock? Because I feel
Yeah,
like your daughter and dealing with your daughter's condition made you so much more resilient because you're like, all right, there's a roadblock. Her sugar's through the roof. What do we
right,
do? Like, we have to solve this issue. Here's the issue. We have to solve this issue to get down, and then we have to figure out why it went up to that in the first place. So we can't do that till we get it down, solve the first problem, then figure out why that problem
right,
happened. So I feel like, you of all people, I mean, there's a lot of nutritionists out there and diabetes educators, and there are some that have diabetes, there's some that have family that have had diabetes, there's some that are just interested in diabetes. I've worked with you in the past, so I can vouch for your knowledge that it's wonderful because not that you live it, it's not wonderful that you have to live it, but it's wonderful that you have this knowledge and you're not all about the numbers, which is kind of nice for somebody, who goes to the doctor. I mean, I'm type 2 diabetic and goes to the doctor. And luckily, my doctor's like, all right, it's not as the A1C is not as low as we want it to be, but we're on the right track. He's very positive. So I found a good doctor that way. But it's nice to have also a friend and colleague and nutritionist to go to that says, "Look, eat better, do this, do that. Oh, your number's a little high. We'll deal with that. We'll deal with that and
right.
get it down." And so how has the entrepreneurial journey been for you? I mean, you said it's been hard. Obviously, it's been hard for a lot of us over the 2020 and 2021
Right.
years because this thing just keeps going. But how's it been? In general, the entrepreneurial journey.
Yeah, not to get too, in depth or, too whatever, but
Yeah.
it's really been almost like a healing journey, if that makes sense. Because
Mhm.
when she was diagnosed, I cry. I still almost cry every time I talk about her diagnosis. When she was
Mhm.
diagnosed, it was a lot of just like, what did I do wrong? What did I, blaming myself, and then just mom guilt. We all, feel the guilt of being a parent and not being able to do the right things. And for me, being able to take my knowledge and what I've learned and help other people has really been healing to me. I always say I learn and I take away as much from what, working with my clients as hopefully they do for me, because I get to see them thrive and really live their life and thrive despite it. And for me, that's
Mhm.
the ultimate reward. So, even though the last few years have been difficult, it's been so rewarding and amazing to see these people that maybe didn't have resources or have the support they needed during the pandemic because of limitations on they couldn't go to the doctor because they couldn't have this or they couldn't have that. And
Mhm.
the ability to do telehealth, work remotely,
That's brilliant. Yeah.
yeah, that was a big pivot because I had been doing a little bit of telehealth in the corporate wellness world. And I had started doing a little bit right when I first started with my coaching business, with running my own business. And I feel like I was a lot better prepared because of that to be able to pivot and say, okay, we're going online, we're going to do virtual visits. This is how it's
Mhm.
going to look. And it was a lot of learning, obviously, too, just learning as we're doing. And it's been great because I now have like a hybrid practice. I get to see some people in person and I still see people
That's
virtual.
brilliant.
And it's
Yeah.
been like the best combination because some days I'm at the office all day and then some days I get to stay home and, you know, party on the top. What is it? Pajamas on the bottom.
Party in front, no, business in
There we
front,
go.
party
There
in
we
the
go.
back.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
mullet,
Yeah.
yeah.
Same idea. So, it's not going to an office every day. And I love that. I love the flexibility of that, even though
Mhm.
we were forced to do telehealth and be remote. I love the opportunities
Serendipity.
that has provided. Being able to see more patients too, just because there's a lot of people
Yeah.
that really can't come in or they don't have access to a diabetes educator or a dietitian in their area. So there's a lot of hard, but a lot of good definitely has come out of
Mhm.
the pandemic.
Alright, so here's these I have 2 questions I have 3 actually that I always ask my guests. First one, what's the scariest thing about being an entrepreneur? I mean, you've done the corporate world, now you're out on your own, you know, scrappy startup, doing your thing and all that.
Scariest thing about being an entrepreneur. Huh. I don't really think about it. I know that sounds so like,
That's
I
good.
don't know, like, I can't think of the word. Too confident or over cocky, I guess. I don't know. I just kind of think, okay, I got to do this, and
Mhm.
it's. I wouldn't say scary is the word. I think it's just more hard. Like, how am I going to do this? Like approaching it. Okay,
Mhm.
I know that this is what I need to do to get to, or I don't know how to get to end result B, but I know that it's going to take starting at least here and then going through the steps. And I guess maybe not knowing what to do is a little scary at the beginning.
Yeah.
And then just getting the confidence, the courage to say, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway.
That's great. What's the best thing about being an entrepreneur? 'Cause everyone has a different answer for this. It's amazing.
Same. Oh, the flexibility. Yeah. So last week we went out of town to go for a family trip. And it was just I could close up shop. I didn't have to account to anybody and just say I'm gonna be out and here's when I'll be back. And like that was yeah,
Peace.
it's this
Exactly.
summer we went to my husband's from Colombia, South America, and we packed up and we went and stayed there for 3 weeks. And I was able to
That's
continue my
wonderful,
business
yeah.
from South America and still see people remotely. And
That's
it's wild.
wild.
It's like, wow, that would be something I could probably never do in a typical, corporate world job and be just like, hey, I'm gonna pack up and leave for 3 weeks. And I'm gonna do my job from there. A lot of people do have that flexibility, but as a dietitian in like a clinical setting, there's no way.
No, there's no way. We're gonna take a quick break, hear from our sponsors, and get right back to the
Hey there, it's Jason with the Marketing Podcast Network. Real quick, I want to make sure you know that the world's leading B2B Marketing Expo is returning to the Los Angeles Convention Center on March 21st and 22nd. It's high time we got back together to learn, see the latest technologies and solutions, and network, right? Join thousands of marketing professionals just like you to learn from over 250 industry expert speakers, educational masterclasses, and over 300 exhibitors. And this year, your ticket also gets you into the Sales Innovation Expo and the Marketing and Advertising Expo. So it's like 3 conferences in one. It's March 21st and 22nd at the Los Angeles Convention Center. Go to b2bmarketingexpo.us to register. That's b2bmarketingexpo.us. The Marketing Podcast Network is a proud partner of the B2B Marketing Expo for 2023. We'll see you in LA.
show. And then here's the question now. This one, I love this question because people get so deep on it. So don't feel intimidated by this question. But what is the most important thing to carry with you all the time?
As far as what?
As far as whatever, like it could be something physical, it could be something, like I have had people say the wedding ring. I've had some people say their sense of being. I have had some people say my cell phone, in addition to something deeper, all that kind of stuff.
Huh. Well, as a person dealing with diabetes, I would say snacks.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Snacks.
I carry snacks everywhere. I mean, for me personally too, because you never know when, you're going to be stuck at work or you're going to be stuck in whatever. And instead of grabbing the first thing that is handy, that may be,
Hmm.
not the healthiest choice, if you have your
Hmm.
snacks and you have your kind of healthy go-tos, then you're not going to be like, um, stuck eating, maybe something that's not going to be your best choice. So I'm just as a big snack person. My kids make fun of me that mom always carries snacks or something in her purse, but when they want them, they're like, "I'm so glad you carry snacks, mom."
With typical kids, we make fun of you because of it, but it's a good
Yeah.
thing. But they're
Oh,
teenagers,
they
so
make
go
fun of me
figure.
for
Of course, they're gonna
everything.
make fun of their mom.
Everything. I mean,
Well, if you know Kylie, it's pretty
yeah,
easy.
exactly. I'm a pretty easy target.
You're a fun target. That's great. So, Kylie, where can people find you online? Where's the best place to reach Kylie?
My website is Kylee Pedrosa nutrition.com. And I try to make it super, super easy for anyone who's interested in working with me, because there's a lot of questions around, how you're going to pay. Can I afford this? Does my insurance cover it? So I try to lay out as much as possible what insurance
Hmm.
is. I accept how the insurance process works as far as getting referrals from your doctor and then verifying your benefits. So I just put all that like online so so you can have a clear view. Like, okay,
It's
this is step
fantastic. Yeah,
one. Um, I'm not ready to commit, but here's how I can learn more.
absolutely. And then, are you on social media? What's your favorite social media platform of choice?
Um, this is not going to be a very popular answer. I really don't like social media. Um, I'm on I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, and I post random things that whatever strikes me as like cool and fun at the time. It could be food, it could be like something we're doing. It doesn't really, there's no really strategy, but I feel like it does give,
You post some good diabetic information on your Instagram a
yeah,
lot.
I do post about healthy eating, keeping me,
Yeah.
and just like enjoying life.
Odie, your dog, a
Yeah,
little bit, you know.
Odie's like the star.
Uh, sh- Oh, he's such a cute little mutt of a dog, and he's Odie,
Yeah,
literally from Garfield.
he's the office therapy dog in our house.
Oh, he's awesome. Exactly. So, Kylie, thanks so much for being on,
You're welcome. Thanks for having
and
me.
we'll see everyone next week. That was a great show. Hey, if you're enjoying Entrepreneurs Enigma, please give us a review on the podcast directory of your choice. We're on all of them, and these reviews really help others find the show. Also, if you're getting value from the show and want to buy me a coffee, go to the show notes and click on the link to help me stay awake while I bring you more great episodes to your ears. That's in the show notes, and I look forward to the next episode. Take care, guys. Goldstein Media hopes you have enjoyed this episode.
You may know you're listening to this show along the Marketing Podcast Network, but did you know there are other great shows on MPN to help your business? Ian Truscott hosts a great podcast called Rockstar CMO. Ian, tell us what these fine folks will get when they listen.
Well, Jason, I'm no rock star, but I've picked up a thing or two over the last 20 years on my tour from sysadmin to CMO, and each week I chat with the true rock stars, my fabulous guests and chums, and share what we call marketing street knowledge to inspire our listeners in a rock star.
Amazing. Where can people subscribe?
Go to rockstarcmo.com, find the show at marketingpodcast.net, or search for Rockstar CMO FM wherever you get your podcasts.
You heard him. Go subscribe. This podcast is heard along the Marketing Podcast Network. For more great marketing podcasts, visit marketingpodcasts.net.